Good morning, students. Welcome you to this BoS for Success session for the paper on accounting. I'm Priya Subramanian, the HOD of Board of Studies. And with me is the accounting faculty CA Priyambada Giridhar, and who will be taking you through the session. A very good morning to all of you. So I hope all of you are very comfortable now with the approaching examination. So the mock test series 1 we had conducted to gear you up for the examination. Most of the subjects in the foundation level are what you would have already been exposed to at class 12 level. Only thing, the CA foundation exam, you will have to do a little bit more preparation. You have to be very careful about the finer points, which the faculties in the respective sessions will take you through. Make sure that you go through the study material. Study material, the faculty have prepared it in such a meticulous manner that it will take care of all what you need to be prepared with for your examination. So make sure that you go through the study material and you work out the illustrations and your questions which are given in the study material. It's very important that you do the working on your own, not just read the answers. Because when you tend to read the answers, you always think that, yeah, I know this anyway. But when you work it out, you feel you'll know where you're going wrong. You first work it out, then compare it with the answers given in the study material. You will know exactly which point you're going wrong, where you have to take care in the examination. So when you do the practice, it's okay if you're going to make some mistakes, because that is okay, because mistakes are always a part of your learning process. It's fine that you make mistakes, but at the same time, you will be able to correct your mistakes timely when you do the working on your own. Suppose you read the illustration and read the answers along with it. For the time being, you'll feel that I've understood. But actually, when it comes to problem solving in a real examination situation, then you'll miss out on some points and it is probable that your answer goes wrong. So make sure that you work out your questions on your own independently. Then thereafter compare with the answers given, whether it be your study material or your revision test paper or your mock test paper. This is very important part of the learning process. Ultimately, initially though, it might take a longer time. To read an answer takes lesser time, but to actually do the solving takes more time of your study. But it will make your learning very effective and fruitful. Ultimately, you will avoid making those mistakes in the examination. When you make the mistake now itself and you get it corrected now itself, then the exam time you will not repeat that mistake. And that's very important part of the learning process. This, I wish each and every student does this, actually do the problem solving yourself. After learning the concept in the study material, do the problem solving yourself so that you are able to correct your mistakes timely. That is one thing. And it is very important that you stay cool, you study with a relaxed mind without any tensions and all that. That is why we prepare you through the mock test papers. The mock test papers are actually similar to the exam pattern where we prepare you. Once you do the mock test papers, here again, if you're going to make mistakes or if you're going to find some mistakes, don't get disheartened, because this again is a learning process, which is actually we want you to make some mistakes so that you can correct it also in timely. That's why the BoS for Success session is being organized to help you identify your mistakes and take corrective action timely. The faculty will tell you which areas you have to pay more careful attention to in your entire syllabus, and which requires more careful attention. How do you go about solving the papers? How to manage your time in exam, which is again very crucial. See, because you know a particular question very well, you should not spend too much of time. You have to see that entire question paper you are able to answer it within the time frame. So that way you cannot give more than the required time for that for one particular question, because it will end up that you have lesser time for the other questions. So that way you have to be very careful. Your time management is very important. Even before the exams, for the purpose of your revision, there also you should make a proper timetable for allocating the time for all 4 subjects, so that you give due emphasis to each and every subject. So these are some of the things. And eat properly, take good rest. That way it is very important. Planning is very important for your studies. When you plan it, the last minute tensions won't be there. So I hope the BoS for Success sessions, I'm sure you'll find them very useful. And after the tips, you'll be able to do the second series of mock test papers better than your first. Definitely, when you watch these sessions, when you take the tips from the faculty, your performance will improve and you work upon it. the performance will improve in the next mock test. And of course, your final examinations, you will be able to approach with confidence. Wishing you all the best. And now I hand over to CA Priyambada Giridhar to take it forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very warm welcome to all our friends and our students. We should thank our HOD, Ms. Priya, regarding all the suggestions she has given. You should always take all these things in point. These are very important. You have just come from the 12th standard, so the planning and preparing, how to prepare for your examination is the first and foremost thing. If the planning is correct, then your exam approach would be very good. So the approaching date is 31st of December, which is your first exam, paper 1, Principles and Practice of Accounting. So, and this is a total 100 marks descriptive paper. You should be very careful while doing this paper. I hope you must have done first round of your studies, first round of your preparation, all the questions one by one with your hand, not only just reading. Ma'am has rightly pointed out that the only reading won't work. So you must have done all the questions, in a register or in a notebook. Practice all the questions in a notebook so that you could prepare well for the examination. So coming to a PPT, I will show you a PPT also. The PPT here. What all are you already aware? For the CA Foundation course, you have 4 papers: paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4. This is a pure 100-mark paper, purely descriptive paper. All questions you have to do with your own hands during the paper. Those 3 hours are the most important hours of your life. Please be careful. You have studied accounts. Many of you have studied accounts in your 11th or 12th. This syllabus is a mixture of 11th and 12th, plus of certain additions of few topics like inventories. You're already aware that your subject has 10 chapters. So please be careful while doing all the questions. Study material is your Bible. So you have to study from your Bible itself. What all BoS is here to help you, to provide you guidance, to provide you the material. So what all BoS material you have here? We have study material, which is September 2021 edition. There are certain, corrigendum is also hosted on ICAI website. Please go through that also. There are revision test papers, mock test papers, suggested answers of previous question papers, student journal, that is referencer for the quick revision. These are all the inputs which we have on BoS Knowledge Portal. All are available on ICAI mobile app as well as the BoS Knowledge Portal. All these are available on ICAI mobile app. See the revision test papers. And why is this? Okay. Revision test papers, mock test papers, suggested answers to the study material, suggested answers to the previous question papers, and the student journal. Fine. If you have already done one round of your preparation, I would suggest you to please, I'll tell you how to prepare for your examination right now. Let's discuss with the what should be your preparation level at this stage. If you have done one round of studies, now point out those questions from the study material, which are very important, which you think have a certain typical point, different from the common illustrations, right? If there is a topic and there, for example, rectification of error, there is a simple question of rectification of error, but there are certain questions. I tell you, there is a question that is illustration 8, which is in your study material, which has certain typical points. So please point out all those points. Please see what points, and then repeat this question again in your second preparation. Can you just wait for a while? We would like to take a break for a minute. Where are the copies? Waiting. So in that case, in the same way, for every chapter, you should point out all the different points, all the different illustration which have few different points. Like for example, in depreciation chapter, there is a question called practical question number 1, which have a different point for the provision for depreciation. Illustration number 8 and 9. So point out these illustration. Now in the second round of revision, you should do all these questions. Don't repeat all the questions. I know you must not be having that much time to do because you have the other subject also to study. So point out those questions which have certain difficult points and do it with your hand. Don't only read out. Accounts cannot be done only through reading out the illustrations and the questions, practical questions. So you should do the questions with your hands. If you have already done this one question twice or thrice at home, you'll be able to do it very easily in the examination. So during the second round of revision, you should do few important questions, few questions which have a difficult and a different point with your hands. Coming to the third round of revision. Now, third round of revision, you can see the important points, important concepts. Go through the concepts. For example, the goodwill, all the concepts, not only the important, all the concepts. All the concepts, for example, goodwill, valuation of goodwill, how it is done in the case of admission, retirement, or death. Then see out of those important and difficult points, see which is the most typical questions. So that depends upon your judgment and your discretion, that which is the different and the difficult question, and do it with your hands. Start doing it with your hands. So in this way, you can prepare well for the examination. We have a revision test papers also, where one questions on each topics is already mentioned. It is already there on ICAI website as well as on BoS mobile app. You can go through that after doing a chapter. For example, you have done a chapter called inventories. So see the question of revision test paper. How this inventory question, can I do that with myself, or do I need to take help in the book? If you are taking help, that is also okay. At this stage, you are doing a revision. You're doing your preparation. So you can see that and then do a revision test paper question of all the chapters. Many students ask us, ma'am, which chapter is important? Please tell me, is there any important chapter? Is there any key to important questions? Please, students, you are a CA student. There is nothing important and nothing unimportant. You are not going for your CBSE examination or ICSE examination where a certain set of questions are asked or something like that. Every topic, each and every topic is important. And why is it important? These questions are for your help only, that in future when you're practicing, when you're going to a job, so you could able to perform, you could able to recall what you have studied in your study material at your foundation level. So everything, each and every chapter is important. For example, if you join a partnership firm, so for that, a partnership, accounting of partnership is important. CA, for a CA is chartered accountant. So the subject of accountancy is in itself is very important. Fine. So you cannot say one is important and one is not important. All chapters are equally important. If you have seen our syllabus, during the first 4-5 chapters of our syllabus is of basic accounting, which incorporates those topics. They define you, they help you to identify what are the problem and what are the problem areas and what rules and applications should be used for accounting. And then for another set, for the chapter 6 to 10, it tells you how to do accounting for various entities. For example, for a sole proprietor, partnership, or not-for-profit organization, or excuse me, a basic introduction of the company's account. So while preparing the syllabus has been set up in that format, that all these rules and small concepts like inventories, depreciation, bank reconciliation, these all can be identified properly and can be understood properly at this stage. And then the rules of accounting, 3 golden rules of accounting, these can be applied during the 6th to 10th chapter, that remaining portion of the chapter. Excuse me. Okay, so I told you about the revision test papers. Coming towards the mock test papers. What are all mock test papers? Mock test papers are two sample papers, two type of papers, the paper which will be coming, the final paper which will be coming in your final CA foundation examination. This series 1 has already been done. Another is scheduled on this upcoming 15th December. So please see, once you're through with the chapter, once you're through with all the syllabus, please go through this paper during the same examination condition. You can go to the branches, or either if you don't have time on that date, at the later point of time, you can download the paper from the website or from the ICAI mobile app and see. Can you do that paper in only 3 hours? Give yourself only 3 hours. Sit in the same examination condition which you will be sitting on 31st of December, and try to solve this paper as much as you can. Okay, yes, you will commit some mistake. When the answer will be uploaded, you can see what mistakes you have done. It is better to know your mistake at this stage rather doing the same mistakes during the exam. So you should attempt this paper, provided that you must have done all preparation for this. Suggested answers to the previous year paper. That the question papers are already hosted. Previous attempts question papers are already hosted on the website. You can see the suggested answers. If you want to practice more, you can do those question papers also. Try to solve that paper at a particular point of time. That is only for the 3 hours, and then identify. Please tally it with the suggested answer and identify what queries, what mistakes you have done during the paper. Student journal referencer for the quick revision. This is a small notes format which we have provided you, which is already available on ICAI website under the student journal portal, where for all the chapters, small diagrams are hosted, small diagrams are placed where you can see all the points, important points, and the diagrams where you can revise that. But please note that this will not replace your study material. It is just given to help you out that yes, you can prepare and you can only revise the important concepts. No practical questions are given. It is only for the revision of the concepts. If you're already aware of the concepts, you just need to revise it. Go through the concepts. Okay, these points are there. These are the 3 golden rules of accounting. Okay, what comes debit, what comes credit. This way you can just revise with this. But please note that there is no replacement of the study material. Study material is your Bible. You cannot do anything without your study material. You have to practice each and every question of the study material. Yes, during the second or the third revision of the study material, you should identify the important points, important questions, which have certain difficult points. The important doesn't mean that this will come in the exam or not. All points, basically the crucial areas which you think that it is important and it is different from the other points. So this way you should perform. Okay, the plan of studies. Priya ma'am already guided you about how to plan for your studies, but we can have a look for this. You should study all the topic in an integrated manner. That I've already told you. Many of the students just ask us that what should be the important topics. There is nothing important, nothing unimportant. If there would be important, then that would not be a professional course. So this is a professional course. Each and every topic, everything is very important. You should go through all the topics of your study material. If you say there is a topic called BRS, is there any question which is important? Every question is important. There's a point called adjusted cash book. That is also important. So you should study all the topics in an integrated manner. All right. The objective is to gain ability in answering the practical question. See, if you study the theory, if you know what is bank reconciliation statement, why it is prepared, what is the ideology, why we are preparing that. We're going to any industry or a company or any organization. Bank reconciliation is one of the 4 most important part, where many we have to reconcile with the bank book as well as the cash book. So the objective is how this can be used in your practical scenario. So you cannot say that you want to leave any topic. All the topics are important, and how this can be practically applied for future is explained in these topics. So while preparing, your subject while preparing the study, while preparing for this subject. Now you translate your knowledge into brief note. What to do like this in this, when you're going through your chapter, for example, chapter number 2, accounting process, what you will do, you'll see, okay, this chapter has the sequence. With your pencil or pen, you can write the important points just at the left, or maybe in a register or something. Then you for memorizing the point, okay, these are all 3 rules of accounting. These are the important rules of accounting. You can write with your pen or pencil. Now you're preparing a notes also. Fine. And at the time of preparation, you can go through all these notes and see what are the important points. Yes, I have only written this, so I must be knowing. While going through those notes, it will be convenient to remember you, to memorize you what you have learned and what you have studied that time. So translate all your knowledge in the brief notes into your own language. You may prepare diagrams in support that you can do in your notes itself. At the later stage of preparation, you should be revising. See, now at the second or the third round of preparation, when you have prepared all these notes, you'll be revising with a lesser time. If you have taken 5 hours to study one chapter, now you'll be taking 3 hours or 2.5 hours to study this chapter. Why? Because you have already prepared the notes and you know the concepts now. So while reading those concepts in your study material, in your notes, you'll be able to memorize it. Okay, yes, we have studied this, so we can do it better. So we can, at the later stage of preparation, we can revise it in a lesser time with lesser efforts. But that doesn't mean that you should not do the practical question. You should practice all the practical questions with your hands only. What are all the amendments that come in your paper? See, for the paper 1, relevant notified sections of Companies Act 2013 are applicable for December 2023 examination. So what should be the strategy for your preparation? Your exam is on 31st of December and today we are on 4th of December. I think around 25 days you have, 25, 26 days you have in your hand. Please focus, please focus. Now these are the only golden period you have with you. If you prepare well, you'll be able to do all the papers well on time and you'll be able to secure good marks. But if you waste all these time, then you'll not be able to do anything. Please understand, you're doing a chartered accountancy course. This is a professional course, different from all other courses. Once you're done with it, you'll be able to once you are done with all the preparation, you'll be able to secure good marks in your exam. So what should be the strategy for the preparation? This is acquaint yourself with the syllabus of principles and practice of accounting. You have 10 chapters in your hand, in your book. So what all chapters are there? What all topics are there? You should know everything about the subject, right? Then assimilate the knowledge input provided by the Board of Studies that I've already told you what all inputs have been provided by the Board of Studies. They are all hosted on ICAI website. Fine. Plan your studies in a manner that keep your time for at least 2 rounds of revision for the study. This also I have told you that you should do all the questions with your hand at least for 2 times. You must be having a register or a notebook with you. Practice important and difficult questions with your hand. Solve each and every questions of study material. See, at least for once you have to do all the questions. The second round, you can identify the questions considering the time constraint if you have. Fine. And while solving those questions, see what problems you are assessing. When you're solving the questions for the second time and still you are unable to do the question without seeing the book. If you still have to see the book again, then there is some issues. Then you have to do this question again. So there is an illustration, try to read the illustration properly and then try to do it yourself. If you are still unable to do, go through the book, you can see the book again, but yes, you have to do it one more time. Don't think that once it is done, so it is done. No. Visit BoS announcement, BoS knowledge portal, and ICAI BoS mobile app on a regular basis. So for the announcements and everything, you should visit all the BoS inputs. All right. So while preparing yourself, acquaint yourself with all the materials which you have, which the ICAI has provided, and see what could be the best way out my preparation can be done. Fine. This is a 100-mark full descriptive paper, no MCQ paper, so you should practice properly. I'm focusing on practice and practice again, because there is no shortcut to success and there's no shortcut for this paper. You have only 3 hours during the examination. So practicing the questions will only help you out to do that question in a faster manner. Fine. If you're able to do a question for partnership on the basis of admission of partnership for in and around 25 minutes. If you have already done Z1 and the same question with a different figure or with 1 or 2 adjustment comes, for example, if it comes in the paper, you'll be able to do that question in 15 minutes. So you're saving 10 minutes just because you have already practiced that question during your preparation. So practicing questions are very important at this stage. All right. Your study material is a Bible. All the adjustment, everything is included. All the concepts are included. Please note that the paper will be prepared only on the basis of the concepts mentioned in the study material. So you should be through with all the study material. What are all the sections comprising of the syllabus? The syllabus is divided into 10 chapters. Will discuss the section-wise and skill-wise weightage, which you people usually ignore. Just excuse me. The syllabus is divided into 5 sections. This section has weightage. All these sections has different weightage. So on the basis of these weightage, we will identify which section is more important, how much time do we have to allocate to which section on the basis of the weightage. So considering these, the section 1 has theoretical framework. Now the section 2 has accounting process, bank reconciliation statement, inventories, and concept and accounting for depreciation. Section 3 has only one chapter, that is accounting for special transaction, where we have bills of exchange, sale of goods on approval basis, consignment, average due dates, and account current. Section 4 has final accounts of sole proprietor, which we have a sole proprietor, as well as the accounts for manufacturing entity, non-manufacturing and manufacturing entities. Now the section 4 also have partnership account, which includes the valuation of goodwill, then admission, retirement, and death of a partner. What is the accounting treatment at the time of admission, retirement, and death? Then a chapter called financial statement for not-for-profit organization. What accounting is to be done for not-for-profit organization. If you see, this section comprises of how to prepare the financial statements, what accounting needs to be done in different entities, maybe for a sole proprietor or in a partnership firm or for an NPO, not-for-profit organization. So this is a huge section. So you should go through all these 3 topics, then only you'll be able to understand this topic in a better way. Section 5 comprises of the introduction of company's account, where you have the introduction, and then the accounting of the companies, that is how forfeiture, discount, forfeiture, reissue of shares, and then the issue of debentures. This section is also important, how the accounting of companies is done. It's the basic introduction level, because at the later ages, maybe at intermediate and the final level, you will be able to study in depth regarding this. All right. So these the syllabus has been divided into these 5 sections, where we are been dividing it to make it convenient to you to understand how the accounting and then how the financial statements are prepared. First, the concepts of accounting, how this accounting can be used during the accounting process, bank reconciliation, inventories, and then how this accounting can be used while preparing the financial statements. Okay, two types of questions are usually asked in our paper. That is, one is an application-based questions. These application-based questions comprises of the questions testing the student's ability to apply specific accounting concepts and principle of accounting to different transactions and events, and in the preparation and presentation of financial statements of sole proprietor, partnership firms, and NPOs. These questions may require to solve the problem in non-complex scenarios. That means these are all the questions of how to prepare the financial statements. And for the comprehension and knowledge-based questions, these may be in the form of the short note or true-false questions. These are usually the application-based questions are usually the practical questions where they have been asking you to do the accounting or to prepare the financial statements under different complex scenarios. And these comprehensions and knowledge-based questions are basically based on the knowledge and comprehension in the form of short notes or true and false. Such questions may be also require the students to explain, define, describe, distinguish, or certain topics or subtopics as per the prescribed syllabus. All the short forms can be asked in these, or the distinctions can be asked. Many students just inquire us for this, that can we leave theory, ma'am? Can we only do the practical? Will we able to solve this paper? You might be able to solve the paper. Maybe 5 or 10% you'll be able to solve the paper and you'll be able to clear the exam. But what about the concept, students? Concepts, understanding of the concepts is very important. See, once you are a chartered accountant, then you'll not be in a position to ask anyone that why it has been done. If someone asks you why the financial statement has been prepared, what is the difference between provision and reserve? Just because you have not studied in your foundation exam, what is the difference in you have left theory for this, you'll not be able to identify. Then you'll be doing the Google. It is better to go through each and every concepts, then only you will be able to solve each and every question in a better way. You'll be your concept, if your concepts are crystal clear, your questions, your practice would be crystal clear. So there's no point of leaving theory. All the questions, everything has to be read. So you should go through each and every questions and all the theory, every concepts of the study material. These concepts will only help you to understand the basic intricacies and the points where in the question, difficult and different points in the questions. So you should go through this theory very properly, right? Now, I'll just tell you the basic format of the question paper. I'm expecting that you have done one round of preparation. So you must be knowing all the sections. See, the first question will always be comprises of the six true and false. First part would be comprising of the true and false question, which cover all the section. Then it has two small parts. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these questions are practical oriented questions. There could be a theory questions also, but majorly they are all practical oriented questions based on the different sections. Out of these 6 questions, question number 1 would be compulsory for you, where you have to do all the true and false, and the other 2 questions, these other 2 question, 2 part could be the theory based or could be practical question based. And out of 2 to 6 questions, you have to do other 4 questions. So you have a choice to leave 1 question. It sometimes happens during the examination times, when we go through the question paper, we feel we know question number 2A and we know question number 3, B and C. What to do at this stage? Now identify how much marks is allotted. If the question 2A has been allotted 15 marks and the 2B is allotted only 5 marks, on the other side, question 3, B and C have been allotted 10 marks, you should preferably do question number 2. because the marks that has been allotted, more marks which has been allotted, you should do that questions in a better way. All right. So this is the basic structure of the question paper. That is question 1 to 6. Now I'll tell you which questions are, from which section the questions have been asked. For the question number 1, it is consisting of 3 parts, A to 3. A comprises of 6 true and false questions with reasoning. You should always give reason to your true and false. Justify your statement. If the statement is true, why is it true? If the statement is false, why is it false? Please see, the justification can be given only in one line. That is also, but that is also fine. But yes, it should be correct. Don't give big answers. Don't give big story for the reasoning. These questions are each from section 1 to 5. 6 true and false questions from all the section. These are given to test the understanding of the content from the entire syllabus. So all the sections, it covers all the sections. The questions could be comprehension or knowledge based, or it could be application based also. Could be a small numerical question also. 6 true and false. So it is for 2 marks each. That is 12 marks. 6 into 2, 12. Excuse me. Then question 1B would be for one short question of section 1. This is comprehension and knowledge based question. It will be of 4 marks. And then for the C part would comprise of one short application oriented question from section 2. Section 1 comprises of chapter 1, right? Section 2 comprises of chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. That is accounting process, bank reconciliation statements, inventories, depreciation. So the application based question may be a small questions from these concepts for 4 marks. So the total marks come out to be 12 plus 4 plus 4, 20 marks. This question will be of, excuse me, 20 marks. Then question number 2 comprising of 2 or 3 parts. That is 2 or 3 application oriented questions based on the topic specified in section 2. That is section 2. The level of knowledge expected from student is application based. And then the corresponding marks could be, it could be 2 questions or 3 questions based on section 2. You already know which chapters comprises of section 2. Then the marks could be 10 plus 10 or either 12 plus 8 or either 15 plus 5. See, this permutation and combinations are available with the examiner. He can ask you any of the combination. 10 plus 10 or 12 plus 8 or 15 plus 5 or 10 plus 5 plus 5. Anything. So this question is solely for section 2, which comprises of 2 or 3 marks. 2 or 3 parts. Fine. Then coming to the question 3. Question 3 comprises of 2 or 3 parts. These are 2 or 3 application-oriented questions based on the topic specified in section 3. Section 3 is accounting for special transaction. Accounting for, these are all application based questions. The questions could be asked from bills of exchange, consignment, sales of goods on approval basis, or average due dates and account current. Usually this questions is numerical based questions, so the time constraint should be very clear. It is 10 plus 10 or 12 plus 8 or 15 plus 5 or 14 plus 6. Any combination would work for this. Fine. So these are all options available with the examiner. So this question is for section 3. Now question number 4. Question number 4 could be one full-fledged application-oriented question based on the topic of section 4. Are you aware what is section 4? Section 4 is only for the preparation of financial statements. I'll show you. This section 4, final accounts of sole proprietor or partnership account or not-for-profit organization. This section only comprises of preparing the financial statement. This is a total application based question. They carry a question on partnership account could be asked, a question on 2 questions on sole proprietor or partnership or NPO could be asked. See, one full-fledged questions or two application-oriented questions. So combination could be 20 marks or 10 plus 10. Or it could be 15 plus 5 also. Now question number 5. Question number 5 will be consisting of two parts. One application-oriented question of 5 marks based on section number 2. Section 2, you know about it. That is the basics of accounting. And one application-oriented question of 5 marks based on section number 4. That is the financial statement question. And C, one application-oriented question of 10 marks based on the remaining parts of which are not covered in section question number 4. The parts which are not covered could be asked here. So the combination could be question 2 or section 2 or section 4 or section 4. Two question of section 4. It could be one question of section 2 and section 4, and it could be two questions of section 4. These are all application based questions. This will also comprises of 20 marks. Now question 6. Question 6 is usually company accounts based question. This is one application oriented question. That is the one big question of 15 marks of section 5. That is the company account. And one small question based on section 2. See, if you are able to identify that how much section 2 is important, almost every question asks section 2. And section 2 is very easy because you've already studied in your 11th and 12th standard. So section 2 comes out to be very easy. You should go through section 2 very properly. So one question, 15 mark question could be from section 5, that is the company account, and one 5 mark question could be from section 2. And the other two application oriented of 10 marks and 5 marks question based on section 5. That is section 5 could comprise of 10 and 5, two questions, and one small knowledge based question of 5 marks from section 2. That then the combination could be 10 plus 5 plus 5. This could be 12, or either for the above it could be 15 plus 5 or it could be 10 plus 5 plus 5. The combination could be either application based, comprehension and knowledge based, or application and comprehension and knowledge. So total comes out to be 20 marks. So for these 20 into 5 questions, since we have 6 questions and one option is given out of from question number 2 to 6, since question 1 is compulsory, it comes out to be 100 marks. Students, it is not easy, it is not difficult to secure good marks in this subject. This is a very scoring subject. You can easily get good marks in this subject. The only key to success is you have to practice and practice more. The paper pattern is made in such a manner that you could able to do this paper in 3 hours. So it is very convenient, but yes, if you are able to do this question in 3 hours, only if when you have practiced it properly. The questions are usually asked from the study material. See, the concepts based on the study material, not from the study material, concepts based on study material. If you know the concepts, each and every concept properly, you will be able to solve this paper very easily. See, ICAI BoS also provides you the live learning classes. The classes have already been completed. The recording of the classes are available on ICAI BoS mobile app. Please go through the BoS mobile app, see those classes. If you are unable to understand any question, any adjustment, and you are not able to solve that question by your own hand, you need to see the books, and the concept is not clear. So please go through those classes, see which question. Almost all the practical questions have been covered on these classes. And if you are still unable to understand, go through Ask Your Query section. See Ask Your Query on ICAI BoS mobile app. Ask me, I'll answer all your queries. But yes, this query can only be asked if you know all the concepts and if you know everything about the chapters and syllabus. Fine. So focus, give yourself good time to study properly. This is not a kind of subject that you just read and go through everything. You have 3 hours to show your competence in your preparation. As Abraham Lincoln has rightly said, give me 6 hours to chop a tree and I'll spend first 4 hours sharpening the axe only. Fine. So if you have given 6 hours, he will only spend 4 hours only to sharpen the axe. That means he is devoting more time on the preparation. If the preparation is good, he will be able to secure good marks. Fine. Just let's go to some queries which you have asked. Mr. Chandan is asking, sir, if I do the previous 11 attempt question papers of account, will it be enough for me to pass the ISCA? Yes, if you are able to solve previous 11 attempt question papers yourself without seeing the books and everything, and you're through with the preparation, you can analyze that and you can easily secure good marks in your exam. Mr. Avast is asking, Mr. Hegre is asking, most important chapter. I already discussed with you that every chapter is important. There is nothing unimportant. Each and every chapter is important, not only for your examination perspective, but also for your future concepts clarity. When you will be auditing in a firm, in an organization, for the conceptual clarity, all the chapters are important. Miss Priyanshi is asking, hello, ma'am. I have an unknown fear of attempting accounts exam. I've solved all the MTPs and RTP, but still I'm not getting the desired marks. Miss Priyanshi, don't fear yourself. Don't worry. If you have been attempting all the MTPs and RTPs, see, practice again. We have another MTP coming on the 15th December. Practice that also. Don't worry. Don't stress yourself that you're not getting good marks. Please de-stress yourself. If you have done the question, you'll gain confidence yourself only that yes, you're able to do the questions. See, once you're doing the questions and if you're seeing the book again and again, then you will not gain confidence. Try to do question yourself only. Try to solve it first. Yes, if you're stuck yourself, don't worry. Then only after completing the question, then only open the book and identify what it is lacking, where it is lacking. Miss Neha, can you help us for the time management? Like how much time should I give it to one question? See, it depends upon your perception. I'll tell you, I will discuss how the 3 hours can be effectively utilized. I'll discuss with you. Ma'am, I don't receive the hard copy of November Students Journal. Please ask your query. Go to the ask your query section and ask this query, please. Mr. Nitish is asking, ma'am, can we use short form of the word in the working note like depreciation is written as GEPRN? See, for balance BD and balance CD, you can write balance B/D, balance C/D. For depreciation, it is better to write depreciation full. In the working note also, I would suggest you to write it full. You're going for a professional exam, so please, it is better to write full. Balance sheet you can use somewhere, but yes, if you're preparing a balance sheet, you should always write full balance sheet. No, don't write B/S. Excuse me. Ma'am, which chapter is deleted? Please exchange it. This session is for the December 2023 examination, which is on 31st December. The syllabus is already posted on the website and also available on ICAI BoS mobile app. Please go through that. Ms. Parmar is asking, I've completed only 60% of syllabus. Will I be able to crack the examination? See, 60% syllabus or 10% syllabus. It won't, you have to complete full syllabus and you still have 25 days with you. So why do you worry for this? Please devote time. You have to devote at least 8 to 10 hours of your day to on the studies for foundation examination. Don't think studying for 2 hours will work for you. You have to devote at least 8 to 10 hours. I will discuss with you about the time management. Give me some time, I'll discuss with you. Mr. Nitish Kumar is asking, how can we utilize the best 15 minutes time to read the question? That also I will discuss with you. Mr. Akib is asking, ma'am, can I do working notes in the beginning of my answer? it is always better to do working note at the end of your answers. For example, in the question of financial statement of a sole proprietor, if you have to calculate depreciation, first prepare the trading account if the question asks you to prepare trading, P&L, balance sheet, and then at the end write working notes. Working note number 1, calculation of depreciation. Working note number 2, calculation of provision for bad debts. This way you can do the question. Please see your study material. All the question has been done in this format only. So it is always better to make the working note at the end of your final solution. Then Mr. Manjunath is asking 10-mark question, how much time is to be given? See, it all depends upon the nature of the question. How big the question is. Okay. First, we are coming to the first 15 minutes that is given during in the exam. One of the students has also asked me that how can we utilize 15 minutes time to read the question. Once you're given your question paper at 1:45, you have the question paper. Now see the question paper, prioritize yourself for the 15 minutes. This is a very good time, a lollipop for you. This time is a very good time to plan and how can you start your exam. So go through the question paper very properly. Very properly means read it with your open eyes. Don't judge yourself. Don't make make it in your mind that this question is from my study material only. Start studying each and every word very properly with open eyes. I tell you what we usually do is, there is a question on the similar lines which we have in study material. Only one word is changed, but we usually read with the same word which is there in our study material. Since we have already done that in our study material, don't do that. Read each and every word very properly. Give a good 10 to 12 minutes only and only in reading the question paper. Look at all the adjustment. Once you have gone through each and every question, now prioritize yourself. Which are the questions you will be doing and which questions you will be leaving. You can prioritize that question. Okay, this question, for example, you have decided you'll be leaving question number 4. That's okay. Now, the third step is identify which questions you know the best. Usually, question number 1 takes lesser time. Usually, I don't know about the what paper would be coming, but usually it takes less time if you know all the true and false. So now identify what is your preparation level and which questions you can do easily, which you can do in a better way and fastly. Identify that question. Now in your mind, prioritize yourself that the first I'll be attempting this question and the second stage at this, third this, fourth this. This all planning has to be done in the first 15 minutes only. You have first 15 minutes, you have to plan all these things in the first 15 minutes only. First, read each and every question properly, very carefully. Don't overthink, don't make assumption, okay, this question is from the study material, same pattern has been come. No, there could be some different point also. So please read it thoroughly and properly. Then identify which questions you know the best, all the questions. Then make a series in your exam, in your mind, that which question you'll be doing first. All right. So this way you can prioritize your first 15 minutes. Once you're given the answer sheet, don't stress yourself. Even if the paper you think is difficult, don't stress yourself. I'm sure, even if it is difficult, I'm sure you must be knowing at least 50 to 60% of the question paper. Yes. So don't stress yourself. Now you've already identified which question you know the best. Start doing that question. I'm sure you'll be able to do the first question very properly. First question you have started. For example, you have started with question number 1A. You've written all the true and false. Please do all the subparts in a new sheet, right? If you have done 1A in first sheet and second half, then leave that half sheet. Then on the third page, start with 1B on the third page. Write 1A, 1B very properly, very clearly, right? And the third thing, do all the subparts in one go only. In one go means leave a space. If you're doing 1A, 1B, and if you don't know how to do 1C, leave space for 1C. Maybe a sheet, one sheet or two sheet, leave that space. And then start doing the other question. Maybe 3A, 3B, whatever question you want to do. Now for the 4, if you plan to do question number 4, now you know question number 4A and you are unable to solve question number 4B. Leave the space for 4B. So in this way, the sequencing would be maintained. You can do any question firstly, any question at the last, but yes, all the subparts should be done at the same place. Try, you make it easier for the examiner will make it easier to you to give the marks. Write it in very clear, crystal clear language, the language which is convenient to you, and make him understand your point. You should write it that clearly. Make him understand that this you want to convey. You have to convey your knowledge to the examiner. If it is easier for him to understand your point, he'll make it very easier for you to get good marks. So be very careful while doing the paper. Another thing, if you are doing question number 2, question number 3, and you're trying to make a balance sheet, for example, in partnership account, you have done the revaluation account. Now you're doing with the partner's capital account, you are stuck in a point. You're preparing a balance sheet and you're unable to solve the balance sheet. Don't devote much time over that. You have been trying for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's okay. But after 10 to 12 minutes, stop that. Go to the other point. Maybe at the time of revision, you'll be able to identify why you're unable to tally the balance sheet. So please, many of us does this mistake that we devote more and more time on a single question, which lead to leave our paper, all the paper, the major question of our paper. See, you always get step marking. So if you're done with the revaluation account, maybe a portion of partner's capital account, you'll get marks. But due to this, if you're leaving a one full question, you lose marks. So please do not leave question. You have to do all the questions. If you're unable to solve it, leave that question. Don't give 1 hour, 1.5 hour only to a single question. Now you also prioritize your time. See, if excuse me, question number 2 is a bigger one. You think that needs more time. So give yourself more time. And if you think the question number 4 you already know, you'll be able to solve it very soon. So don't give much time over that. That you have to prioritize, that how much time to be given to each question. But yes, if you're stuck in a question, don't devote much time over it. Once you are starting doing these questions, and you should be able to solve at least 10 to 15 minutes before time. And if your preparation is through and if you're able to understand everything, you'll be able to solve at least 10 to 15 minutes before. Now start revising. Only 10 minutes are left in the exam. It's okay. No, not to worry about that. Now start revising. Once your balance, for the questions for which your balance sheet is tallied, you're a little confident about it, you can read it once and move the pages. But yes, for the questions which you are unable to tally the balance sheet and you think that one point is left in another question, read it properly. Try to analyze it, that what could be the point. Yes, there could be this permutation or that permutation. So what you think is the best, write it over there. All right. Leaving will not give you marks. Writing might give you marks. It could be wrong and there could be a probability it could be right. So please, I am requesting you again and again, do not leave any question. You write it properly and do all the questions properly. All right. So this way you should solve it and you will be able to easily solve all the questions in the time frame given. All right. This way the paper has to be done. Now we'll be taking a short break for 10 minutes. We'll come back in another 10 minutes. Yes. Welcome back, students. Coming back to the session for foundation course, paper 1, principles and practice of accounting. I have also received a lot of queries. So let me address few queries first, then we can go again, continue with the session. Mr. Umesh Kumar Vora is asking an example of practical question number 3, page number this. I cannot understand how the balance has come. That is for 29,25,000. Please go through the question properly and see the answer also. If you see the answer at page number 5.2, just a minute. If you see the answer at page number 5.28, not 28, it is 30. Page number 5.33, where you can see the working note. He has asked you to prepare to calculate the balance BD as on 1st January 2018. And if you see the working note, that is profit on settlement of truck, you can see the balancing figure as on 1st January 2018 is 29,25,000. So this is the value of one truck. So you can multiply it, you can get the value as on 1st January 2018 for the 10 trucks, right? Mr. Akib Lodi is asking, ma'am, what if I do all the question including the optional, then how marks will be allotted? Why do you want to do all the questions? You can focus on, if the option is given, please try to be in those options only and try to do those questions which you know the best. And please don't ask again and again the same query. Mr. Abhishek is asking, many times I face a situation while solving the question, I'm not able to judge how to match space it required to leave for it and ending up short of page to solve the question. What should I do in the question of NPO and final and partnership account? Please try to analyze yourself. When you practice the question, you know how much space is required while doing a partnership question or an NPO question. You already know that if you're practicing it well. See, if you're practicing it well, you leave extra space only, don't leave lesser space. Mr. Nitesh, ma'am, can we use short form of the word and working note that I've already taken? Ma'am, Mr. Udit is asking, where can I find previous year paper? You can see on ICAI BoS mobile app as well as on this ICAI website under BO student tab. Then go to BoS knowledge portal. There you'll get previous attempt question papers. Miss Raksha is asking, if we solve practical question of theory, is it enough for for score in theory? If we solve practical question of theory, I didn't get your query properly. Mr. Abhijit, I got your query that you have only 1 month to study. Can you please suggest how can I study and pass December? Please practice. Please try to see which, see, you practice and you plan your preparation time. See, those topics which you know the best. For example, you know BRS, a bit of BRS, and you know inventories. The topic which you know the best, you can leave that and devote more time on the topic which you don't know properly. So better to give time to those topics which you know that you are weak at. Don't give more time on the topic which you already avoid. All right. So plan yourself, give time. I'll discuss how can you plan your studies. I'll discuss in the session. How to, Mr. Jesu is saying how to secure good marks, because I started study a few days ago. You can, don't panic, don't stress yourself, study, devote time, 8 to 10 hours, devote yourself. You can get good marks, don't worry. How to manage all the subjects in last week before exam? You have to prioritize. You know the better that which topic you're best at. So devote lesser time on that topic and on that subject, and devote more time which you think that you need more practice. Ma'am, if the balance sheet, Miss Sania is asking, ma'am, if the balance sheet is not matched, then whole answer is wrong or some marks we will get. See, if the balance sheet is not matching and few of the adjustments are correct, you will get step mark. We always get step mark. Mr. Mohit is asking, ma'am, can you please explain how to solve GLP question? Please go through the study material. It is clearly mentioned. It is clearly explained. GLP comes as an adjustment usually. So please go through the study material. You'll get to know about it. Ma'am, so every question, including the subpart, must be started on a new page. Yes, it is always preferable to start a new question on a new page, including a subpart as well. For example, question number 2A, you have started in a page and half is left over. So please leave that page. You started with another page. And please write the question number very properly. Okay, coming back to your session. Okay, Mr. Gokul Ramat is asking, ma'am, if there are 3 subdivisions in a question, can we raise any 2 and skip one subdivision? If the question has asked you to solve all the 3 questions, then you have to do all the 3 questions. You don't have an option. If the question says you can do any 1 or any 2, then do it accordingly. Please read the question for it. Many of you are asking that how to manage time and how to do it. So let's discuss that. You have 24 hours. I expect you to study for at least 8 to 9 hours in a day. How can you plan your study? You divide your day in between 8 to 9 hours, first half or a second, and then the second half. So giving yourself 2 slots, right? Now in the 2 slots, for you, the practical subject is compulsory. One time should be for the practical subject and one time should be for the theoretical subject. Right, you have 2 practical subjects. One is accounting and one is mathematics. So choose yourself. One day you can give for accounting, one day you can give for mathematics, and then in the same way for the other papers you can give an alternate day. Now it is your choice, your discretion. Depends upon you whether you like to complete one topic in a day or you would like to take 2 subjects and complete a part of a topic and then do it on another day. So it depends upon the person to person. It's their own discretion. For example, for me, I usually like to do the same topic for the whole day and then start with another thing. So it always depends upon you how you proceed with it, right? So try to complete that topic. It would be better for you because you understand that topic well. Then you can start the another one for the next day. For example, you have started with chapter for inventories. You are going through a second round of your preparation. Fine. So you have given 2.5 hours, 3 hours for your inventories chapter. I understand you got your all the points. You're done with all the practical questions and illustrations. Now, coming to the next day, when you're again opening the accounts book, give 15 minutes to yourself. Give 15 minutes to yourself and analyze what you have studied the last day. What all points were there in the inventories? What was the basic intricacies in the and what was the crucial points of inventories chapter? Analyze yourself. Just go through the books once again and see what important points, how the practical questions are done. The practical question number 3 and 4 are very good questions for this inventory chapter. So only 15 to 20 days that will be kept in your mind. Now you have done this chapter for the 3 times. It will be there in your mind. When you're going through the revision at the time of your exam, you'll be able to remember everything. So give yourself time. This way you allot your time, first half or second half, whatever way. It is always better you do first half for the practical subjects, since you have to practice more. But that doesn't mean the theory subjects are not important. The theory subjects are equally important. You have to clear all the 4 papers to clear CA foundation. All 4 papers are compulsory. But to tell you the truth, if you practice well in this exam, in the foundation paper 1, you will be able to secure good marks because you need 50% to clear all the exam. So you can get good marks in this. Maybe after 70 plus or 65 plus, whatever you think of. But for that, you have to practice again and again. Keep yourself calm, composed, and cool. So practice again and again, you'll be able to secure good marks. This could help you in another papers also. Fine. So please practice. Give yourself time, give your hand some time, and keep yourself cool and calm. Your temperament should always be cool and calm. All right. This way you can plan your studies accordingly. Fine. Okay, coming towards the applicability of the Companies Act 2013 and other legislative amendments for May 2023 examination. So the relevant notified sections of Companies Act 2013 and legislative amendments, including the relevant notifications, circulars, rules, guidelines issued by regulating authority up to 30th April 23 will be applicable for December 23 examination. All right. So how to improve marks in examination, I've already discussed with you many times. See, you know the subject better. I understand that you know the subject, but unless and until you will able to show that you know the subject better, you will not able to grab marks. The presentation matters a lot. For you, whatever you have gained for in this subject, you should able to write it very properly, right? So I told you, first write the answer which you know the best, in which you know the best. See, while checking, the examiner will have an impression. If the first question is correct, he'll have this impression, okay, this student will be good, he'll be positive for the whole paper. Attempt all the sub part of a question at one place. I'm also focusing on this again and again. Try to attempt all the questions at one go only, at one place only. Your handwriting should be readable and it should be speed. The speed should be apt. How the handwriting can be readable? It is only when you do question by your hand while preparing. So you have to practice questions. There is no shortcut to the success and there is no shortcut for practice. And the speed will obviously increase when you do that question twice or thrice. For example, if you have done a question first time, it will take 25 minutes. Then if you're doing the same question second time, it might take 15 to 20 minutes. So you are saving 5 to 7, good 5 to 8 minutes. And these minded 5 to 8 minutes are very important during examination. Very important. While doing the question, write assumptions and working note properly. I've told you the pattern of the question, your answer. The pattern of your answer should be the main answer, then the working note. For example, if it is a financial statement question, it should be like, if the question asks you to prepare trading P&L and balance sheet, then the trading account, then P&L account, and then the balance sheet, and then working note at the end. And you please write working note number 1 if there are many working note number 2, and write it in the corresponding figure also. Please see working note number 1. Whatever space you have, it should be very clear and very basic, and it should be readable for the examiner, so that he'll be able to give you good marks. Fine. So, and another thing is, some questions may require you to give an assumption. You can give an exemption even at the end of the main solution, that this has been assumed, or either at the upward. So better, if you think that you have taken an assumption, so please give that assumption. The answer sheet should be readable and should be very clear. Your all knowledge should be there. This will come only and only through hand practice. So from today, 10-hour study is must for you. All right. You have only few days left with you. Prepare brief note. Translate your knowledge into brief note. If you're going through a question in a study material and you think that this point is important, underline that point, make a star over that point, that this point is important, and write in your own language that for this we have done this. Fine. You can also prepare diagrams in the support. You can do it in your own book also. You can do it in your register also. This is your choice, your discretion, right? At the later stage of preparation, you'll be revising with a lesser time and with lesser effort. This will help you, because when you write in your own language and with your pencil or pens, that will always grab attention while revising. All right. How to manage time during the examination, that we have discussed, but let's go to these points. Make an optimum use of 15 minutes given for reading. See, read it properly. All the words should be read it very properly with the open eyes. Don't make any assumption, oh, this is the same question, so there will be the same assumption. No, you have to read it properly. Once assumption we are doing at home, we have already done at home, we assume that this is only come in the paper. No, please read it very carefully with the open eyes. Sometimes the figure is 50 and we think it is 15 because in our study material it was 15. Don't do this mistake again and again. Please see zero, number of zeros, the figures 50,000 or 5 lakh. Please be very careful. Go through all the questions quickly. Now select the question you'll be attempting first. See, you have 3 hours. So prioritize your time. For the balance sheet, you might be needing 20 to 25 big full questions. For the small questions, maybe for BRS, you might be able to do in 10 or 15 minutes. So plan your time accordingly in this 15 minutes only. Mark the question which you will be attempting first. Think in your mind that this question will be the first, then it will second, third, fourth. This way, plan that which question you'll be attempting first. Allocate an estimated time for each question based on the difficulty level, and marks keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for revision. Fine. The time should be allocated in such a manner that you should have 10 to 15 minutes before for revision. Adhere to the time allocated. If you have given a half an hour for one question, adhere to time limit. You can give 5 to 10 minutes extra, but not more than that. Please don't stick on a point which you are unable to solve it. Leave that question, you can do the other question. All right. Do not pressurize yourself for this. How to attempt question in the marks? Give all the necessary working note at the part of main solution. Give as much working note as you can. It will be easier for the examiner to understand how this figure has come. Okay. If there are many approaches to solve the question, mention the assumption considered, right, in the solution, since it is the basis for which the solution is derived. The approach to be selected should depend upon the information and requirement of the problem. The approach that should be selected should be the best approach. See, if there are many approaches, make an assumption that you are taking this approach, and the approach which is selected should depend upon the information and the requirement of the question. Allocate an estimated time for each question based on the difficulty level, and marks keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for the revision. You should always keep 10 to 15 minutes for the revision. Try to keep 10 to 15. Allocate time accordingly. See, this will only happen if you practice well. All right. Journal mistakes which usually students commit during the examination in the answer sheets. The student exhibited lack of in-depth understanding of the concepts of various topics. Sometimes we think that we already know this topic and we usually go with the topic. We don't go in depth knowledge with the topic. See, I'm again and again telling you, this is a professional course. A student is expected to have a professional knowledge of each and every topic of your study material. So you should go thoroughly for every topic. Don't go in haste and don't just run through the pages for the topics. Sometimes you lack knowledge, you lack in-depth knowledge for the concepts, right? One of the common error is committed by a student is wrong carry forward of the amount from one page to another. If it is 5,95,500, sometimes students write 5,95,005. Or This is a very common mistake which is done in usually accounting paper. The specific accounting paper mistake. See, accounting is the core subject of chartered accountancy course. This is just a foundation level. Then you will get an advanced accounting in the intermediate level. Then the expert knowledge. So for accounting, the basics should be gone. This is more of clerical error. You are a chartered accountant. You're not expected to do any clerical mistakes. Rather, you have to identify the clerical mistakes of an accountant. Fine. So it usually happens then when we are just carrying forward the figure from one page to another page, we make a mistake. We carry forward a wrong figure. Please and please be focused. Your focus should be only and only on paper. You should not think anything else at those 3 hours. So be very careful while carrying forward figure from one page to another page. The answer of question is sometimes incomplete, since one or two part of the questions are skipped while reading the questions. When we go through our questions, we know that these questions we've already done during our practice. And while reading the question, we skip 2 points or we skip 3 points, which led to incomplete question. Right? For example, when you're going through a BRS question, you are reading a BRS question. Oh, this adjustment I know. Oh, this also I know. This also I know. While doing the question, I skip 2 adjustment. If I skip 2 adjustment, it will lead to losing my 2 or 3 marks, whatever marks has been allotted. So please go through the question very properly, and while doing the question, solving the question, please see that all the adjustment has been covered in your solution. Many of students did not provide all necessary working note which forms part of main solution. Working note should always form part of main solution. All the necessary working note should be there. Student did not mention the assumption considered while working the solution, which led to reduction of marks. See, if you're doing a solution and you think there is an assumption requirement and you have not marked the assumption, it might lead to losing some marks. So it is better, always better, if you are assuming something, please write the assumption. How will the examiner come to know that you have made such an assumption? So it is better, always better to write an assumption which you are assuming. All right. The twist in the question put the student in a state of confusion, which will ultimately reflect in the solution or answer. It might happen sometimes when you're reading or going through the question paper, there is a trick or there is some twist in the question. When you read that question, you come in a stress. Oh, how will I solve this question? Now it is like everything is gone. Please be positive, stay relaxed. It's okay. This is only one point. You might get good marks in another points, good marks in another questions. So don't over pressurize yourself, and the twist should not overcome your other paper. All right. If there is a trick, obviously they'll ask you a trick. So don't overcome that. Please try to overcome with it. Just be focused. Be focused on the other paper also. You have to give equal time and equal weightage and equal mind to all the paper. All right. Students give irrelevant details even for small questions, thereby sending unnecessary time on the question. Or I know if you write true and false and you know all the true and false, you know very much about those true and false. Please do not write long stories over there. You will waste time as well as your energy, rather than use that time on the other question. I know you know many things about it, but it is not necessary to write everything. So it is advised that students should restrict their answers according to the marks allotted to that question. Only give that much information which is required in the question. Don't give extra information. All right. What are the do's and don'ts? Don't go for selective studies, which we have already discussed at the time of preparation. Focus on the theoretical concepts, conceptual understanding of each topic for development of analytical skills. Do adequate written practice of the illustration, test your knowledge. This will also keep you in time with the management and attaining speed. I would like to share one more thing, that usually students do only and only illustration. Please understand, students, test your knowledge questions also form a part of your syllabus. So try to solve all the questions of the test your knowledge given at the end of each and every chapter. We have given you true and false questions. We have given you MCQ questions. We have given you test your knowledge questions. There are many points which are there in test your knowledge questions. Please solve each and every test your knowledge questions. All questions in the study material are important. Everything is important. Why do we not say go for selective study? Why? I know the syllabus is more. I can understand your situation. I've also been gone through this situation only. You are not going to be an accountant. You're going to be a chartered accountant. For chartered accountant, you have to put an extra effort to make yourself that equipped with accounting that you can answer each and everything, every query of your client or maybe in the organization. A chartered accountant is always given a good priority over other accountants. All right. So please, in order to secure excellence, you have to go through each and every topic of the study material. Be careful while using the information given in the question for solving the question. Be careful, whatever information is given, be very careful about it. Assess your preparation level by attempting the previous year question paper under mock examination condition. See, take out any previous year question paper and give yourself time. That is only 3 hours. Give yourself only 3 hours. But this you can do only after you've done with your preparation. Fine, give yourself 3 hours and try to solve this question in 3 hours. Your hands on calculator should be very good. You should be able to solve the question on calculator. That doesn't mean that you should type wrong figures in the calculator. The calculator should be good enough and your hand should practice that calculator very well. All right. So try to do one question or two question paper in the same time frame of 3 hours, so that you'll be able to see that where does your start. And even if you analyze that there are many queries where you have done many things wrong, that's okay. At this stage, even if you have done something wrong, that is okay, that is manageable. You'll be able to notice that, yes, I'm lacking here, and whether I'm able to manage my time or not. See, for the questions like sole proprietor, not-for-profit organization, and partnership, you need more time. I understand 20-25 minutes. But yes, for the basic topics like accounting process, rectification of errors, for this depreciation, no, not depreciation, for inventories. If your basics are clear, you can able to do these questions very fastly. For bills of exchange, so sale of goods on approval basis, these questions you can do it fastly. All right. So you have to allocate your time. So when you're doing the mock test paper at your home, and if you're going to the branches, that is good enough. But if you're doing it at home, give yourself only and only that 3 hours and see how can you use that 3 hours. All right. The calculator, use of calculator, battery operated calculator up to 6 functions, 12 digits and 2 memories are allowed. Scientific calculators are a big no-no. They are not allowed. Please be careful. Battery operated calculator up to 6 functions and 12 digits, 2 memories are allowed. What we do is, students usually does it. You practice, sometimes students practice on one calculator and for the exams they purchase a new calculator. It should not be there. For the calculator which you are practicing, you should always use that calculator only, because your hands is already adapted that calculator. Your hands is very much fixed with that calculator. Your hand knows that how to do it properly and how to make the effective use of calculator. So please use that calculator which you are using it during practice. And yes, you can keep one calculator as a provision during the exam time. If something happen, you can use the other calculator. You can keep one calculator with you. One extra calculator with you. But for the calculator which you are using it during practice, please use that calculator only. All right. How to round off? how to round off the digits. Rounding off is generally up to 2 or 3 decimal places, which this will help you in the questions. For example, 65.8888765 is rounded off to 65.89 or 65.889. You can round off in this way. All right. Let's go to your queries. Ma'am, if there are 3 subdivisions in the question, can we write any 2 and skip 1 subdivision? That I told you that if it is given in the question, so you can skip, otherwise you have to do it all. Can I write 1A and then go to the another question 6C? Can we do, ma'am? See, it is better if you're writing 1A, leave space for 1B and 1C, and then go to the 6th question. 6C you can do, 6A you can do again. Then leave space for 1B and 1C in your answer sheet. Question 2. If I know only 2 subdivision in the question, can I skip the 3rd subdivision, ma'am? See, if you don't know, try to solve as much as you can, but do not leave any question. I don't know, title, tilting the question. How to present a ledger which has more heading, ma'am? You can present the ledger in the way it is mentioned there in your study material. Ma'am, can you explain, Mr. Mohit Vijay? I've told you that please go to the study material. What JLP has usually adjustment, please go to the study material to see that. How can you present and solve the JLP question? Mr. Nitish is asking, in final account, trading and PNL can be made in one format. Yes, you should make it in one format. Ms. Raksha is saying, if we solve exercise theory question, can we get good marks in theory? Yes. There are theory questions. You can get good marks in theory. Please go through theory properly. Ms. Rekha is asking, I have a confusion in BRS chapter, bank overdraft as per passbook entry. Please go through that, your study material. Miss Neha is saying, can we give examples in the theory questions of account? Yeah, you can give examples. If you have time and if you can write properly, please give example. But the point should be clearly communicated to the examiner. You make it easy for the examiner to write everything. Examiner will make it easy for you to give you good marks. All right. All the theory, all the repeated queries. Mr. Agwil, Akib, you're again and again asking, if I do all the question including the optional in the exam, then how marks will be allotted? Please ask this question to Foundation Exam Helpline. All right. I cannot comment about the exam, the marks. Okay. Query, how to manage time in exam? We are unable to answer all the question in given time. That is only possible through practicing all the questions that I've discussed with you many times, that practice all the questions properly, solving the mock test question in a paper in the mock examination situation. How to secure good marks? Read the question paper thoroughly. Read the options given in the question carefully. First, write the answer which you know the best, and attempt all the subparts of question in one place. Give all the working notes at the part of the main solution. All right. This is I also would like to tell you that only studying properly will not help you to gain good marks. Your psychological balance, mental and psychological balance, plays a very important role while performing in the exam. Take a good sleep, eat well, spend some good time with your family. I know studies are important, but the family is equally important. Yes, you can prioritize study at this point of time because you have to gain good marks. I understand that, but give your family at least 10 to 15 minutes so that you can refresh yourself. Stay calm and composed, be positive. Whenever you are studying, if you worship God, give God some time and stay positive, be calm and composed. Your psychological balance plays a very important role. Eat healthy, fit life. Give yourself some time to yoga also. I mean, just maybe for 10 or 15 minutes. But being calm and composed will help you to secure good marks. So I understand the studies are important. While going through the final round of studies and while a day before exam, sleep well, take a good sleep. Your psychological balance should be positive. Yes, you'll be able to secure good marks. If you have not studied till yet properly, you can study. Heavens are not falling. You can study well, prepare yourself well. There is still much time you can prepare. Easily prepare and secure good marks. But yes, stay strong, stay positive about it. The mental balance will help you to keep you positive and focused through the study material. Please do not give time to social medias. This time you should be very much free from the social medias. Do not see such things which distract your preparation level. Only and only focus yourself. Think about your preparation. Don't compete with anyone else. Think about yourself. You'll be chartered accountant only for yourself. You're not doing this for your family, your friends, or your parents or things. These are all excuses. You will be chartered accountant. Ultimate benefit will be yours. You will achieve the milestone. You will get the benefit. All right. So stay calm and stay composed. And balance yourself with the good food, healthy food, and exercise yourself and take a good sleep before going to examination. The approach should be more practical. When you're studying, analyze your subject with a practical approach. If this happened in a real time scenario, what should be done? So these topics, the practicality should be there in your mind. Please assess yourself, give yourself some time. I know you'll come with the flying colors, you'll secure good marks. And this is the basic subject, you can easily secure good marks. So give yourself some time. All the best for your preparation. Any queries you have, you can ask me through the Ask Your Queries. We are always there to help you out, to serve you for your examination level. But yes, preparation you have to do. We can only guide you with the questions with this adjustment. Sometimes the queries ask, ma'am, please explain question number 3. Please explain of this chapter, question number, illustration, this. See, it's very difficult for me to write how to explain this. You can ask me the adjustment. Please try to solve. I'm sure you'll be able to solve the question. You might be stuck in one point or another point. So please write that point, that please explain me this point. I'll be able to help you better. Do not waste your time. Don't go here and there and waste your time on a social medias. I know these are all distraction for you, but at this stage, you only have to give time to yourself and your studies. You'll be able to secure good marks, and you'll be chartered accountant in another few years. All the best for your preparation. Thank you so much. Still Nisa? Stop.